After the defeat of the Ottoman Empire in World War I, Britain gained control of Palestine in 1917. Britain announced that it would establish a national home for the Jews in Palestine. Jews began migrating to Palestine, which the Arabs opposed, so they attacked the Jews. To this day, the Arabs and Jews are still having conflict. The Quartet of United States, European Union, Russia, and United Nations proposed roadmap to resolve Israeli-Palestinian conflict, proposing independent Palestinian state. Israel and Palestinian National Authority both accept plan, which requires freeze on West Bank Jewish settlements and an end to attack on Israelis. In 2004, July, International Court of Justice issues advisory opinion that West Bank barrier is illegal. And in 2006, in September, Israel withdraws all Jewish settlers and military personnel from Gaza, while retaining control over airspace, coastal waters, and border crossings.
Got it.
It's slippery.
Yes!
Quick! The quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker and is 2 times more absorbent than the leading ordinary brand.
Hey, look. I got it.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
In 2006, January, Ariel Sharon incapacitated by stroke. He dies in 2014, never having emerged from a coma, succeeded as a prime minister by Ehud Olmert. Hamas Islamist group wins Palestinian parliamentary elections. Rocket attacks on Israel from Gaza escalate, met with frequent Israeli raids and incursions over following years. June, Hamas gunmen from Gaza take Israeli soldier Gilad Shalit hostage, demanding release of Palestinian prisoners. Major clashes between Israel and Hamas in Gaza follow. July through August, Israeli incursion into Lebanon in response to deadly Hezbollah attack and abduction of 2 soldiers escalated into Second Lebanon War. Government faces criticism of the conduct of war, who left Hezbollah forces largely intact. In 2007 September, Israeli Air Force destroys nuclear reactor in Deir ez-Zor, Syria, which Israel formally acknowledges in 2018. November, Annapolis Conference for first time establishes 2-state solution as basis for future talks between Israel and Palestinian Authority. In 2008 December, Israel launches month-long full-scale invasion of Gaza to prevent Hamas and other groups from launching rockets. In 2009 January, discovery of major offshore natural gas deposits. And in 2009 February, right-wing parties prevail in elections. Likud leader Benjamin Netanyahu forms government. In 2010 May, 9 Turkish pro-Palestinian activists killed in clashes during Israeli boarding of ships attempting to break blockade of Gaza. Relations with Turkey approach breaking point. Israel apologizes for deaths in 2013. When in September, direct talks resume between Israel and the Palestinian Authority. 2011 summer through autumn, rising prices prompt major protests. Government improves competition in food market and makes cheaper housing more available. October, Hamas release Israeli soldier Gilad Shalit in exchange for 1,027 prisoners in deal brokered by 2012 November. Israel launches week-long military campaign against Gaza-based armed groups following months of escalating rocket attacks in Israeli towns. 2013 March. Mr. Netanyahu replaces most religious Jews groups with centrist and secular parties in government after the latter's strong showing in January elections. 2013 July. Talks resumed with Palestinian Authority under U.S. auspices but reached no conclusions. 2013 December, Israeli, Jordan, and Palestinian authorities signed agreements to save the Dead Sea from drying up by pumping water from the Red Sea. In 2014 January, Energy and Water Minister Sullivan Salam attends renewable energy conferences in Abu Dhabi, leading a business delegation and first visit to United Arab Emirates since 2010. July through August, Israel responds to attacks by armed groups in Gaza, while a military campaign by air and land to knock out missile launching sites and attack tunnels, clashes, and an uneasy Egyptian brokered ceasefire in August. In 2015 May, Prime Minister Netanyahu forms a new coalition government after March elections with right-wing Beit Yedu, Jewish Home Party, another right-wing party, Israel Bantu, joins the following year. October, Israeli couple shot dead in their car in occupied West Bank. It is one of the first incidents that would become a wave of shooting, stabbing, and a car ramming by Palestinians or Israeli Arabs. November, Israel suspends contact with the European Union officials and talks with Palestinians over EU decisions to label goods from Jewish settlements in the West Bank as coming not from Israel but from settlement. In 2016 June, Israel and Turkey reaches agreement over 2010 Gaza flotilla raid and normalize relations. September, U.S. agrees military aid package worth $38 billion over next 10 years for Israel, largest such deals in U.S. history. Previous pact, set to expire in 2018, saw Israel get $3.1 billion annually. December, Israel suspends working ties with 12 countries that voted for a Security Council resolution condemning settlement buildings after the U.S. for the first time abstained from the voter. 2017, February, Parliament passes a law which retroactively legalizes dozens of Jewish settlements to build on private Palestinian land in the West Bank. June, work begins on the first new Jewish settlement in the West Bank for 25 years. December, U.S. President Donald Trump recognizes Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, upsetting the Arab world and some Western allies. The following March recognizes Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, which Israel seized from Syria in the 1967 war and later annexed. The international community does not recognize Israel's sovereignty.